Welcome to the Magic in the Midwest podcast. I am James. Oh no. Welcome to the Magic in the Midwest podcast. This is the most magical podcast in the frozen tundra of the Midwest.
It's the worst.
That's right. Why is the projector on?
Oh, you're in charge of the electronics.
You turned it on. It didn't turn it off.
Well, I did actually, but maybe I missed the button. I did attempt to.
Yes, the most magical podcast in the Midwest.
What is happening? JB has just left the table. Not that it should matter, because right now the announcer's talking, but for some reason he has also stopped because JB walked away. Can't explain.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, and now your hosts, JB Michaels and Ashley Michaels. Hello, everybody. This is Magic in the Midwest podcast number 45. Wow, 45 eps. Okay, that's half a 90 degrees.
Mom's calling me.
All right, we're going to pause this. The 45th episode of Magic in the Midwest. Yes, like I said, halfway to 90 degrees on the protractor that would use in geometry class to calculate the slope of things.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
I don't know.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I'm JB Michaels, USA Today best-selling author of many books, which I'm very excited about. There's a Valentine book that you could read right now called The Valentine Diner Die, which is a fun murder mystery set on Valentine's Day weekend. So I would check it out.
Do it.
Okay, Valentine Diner Die by J.B. Michaels. It's a cozy murder mystery. It's very fun. Okay. And then I'm joined by, of course, my more successful wife, Ash. Ash, do you have anything to add to the housekeeping?
No housekeeping. If you get coffee on the tablecloth.
So housekeeping would be Bandcamp episodes, because Ash just never does it. Bandcamp exclusive episodes are available for you for just $3 a month. You can head on over to magicinthemidwestpodcast.bandcamp.com and get double the content.
Whoa.
Okay?
What a deal.
Lot. That's a big deal.
I mean, it's... You're a big deal.
You're a big deal.
We're a big deal.
Okay, anyway.
So do it.
Do it now.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay. So subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah. So today we thought we would highlight a DVC membership perk that associates with the current park that we are on, and then we're going to add another one, just for fun, a bonus one at the end of this. We're going to talk about Disney Vacation Club. About, I would say, 3 years ago, they started doing what was called Moonlight Magic events for DVC members. And what that basically is free admission to the park, free meal, and a free dessert. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. They would just give, and you would have to, and then you have a special time only with DVC members in Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and of course the water parks as well. I think they've only done Typhoon Lagoon at this point for the Moonlight Magic. But what is great about it is, of course, you enjoy the reduced crowds. So the park will close, and then Moonlight Magic is set up for DVC members. So it's actually, honestly, probably one of the better perks, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably the best. I mean, it's really great. The fact that Disney does sort of acknowledge the fact that, we do pay dues, to keep for the upkeep of maintenance of the DVC membership and the DVC accommodations, but the fact that you're also getting, admittance to the park, and then you're also having a full meal, and a dessert after. I mean, that's great. So we're going to talk about our Moonlight Magic event at Animal Kingdom. And then we're also going to talk about a little bit about our first experience with Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon. But here's the weird thing about Moonlight Magic. There is a catch. They don't happen all the time. They happen, I would say, maybe
4 to 6
times throughout the year. And you sort of just have to, you don't really know. They don't release the Moonlight Magic calendar super early, so sometimes you just have to sort of book your trip and then hope that there's a Moonlight Magic event. I mean, I'm sure you could do it, when they announce them, and do it relatively. If you want to get to book into Saratoga and do it or something real quick, you probably could.
Well, here's the other thing to note about that, though, is that just because there's a Moonlight Magic
event
doesn't mean you'll get in. It's kind of, it's like a queue process, which we'll talk about. So just because there's a Moonlight Magic event and you're able to book your trip doesn't mean you'll be able to attend that event.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically they release tickets on a specific day at a specific time,
which they let you know in advance.
Yeah, and you basically have to get a place in the virtual queue and just hope that your number is low enough where you will be able to get in.
Yeah.
Because of course DVC, and especially because of the nature of this type of event, which is awesome, people flock to these things. They try to get in, of course.
Well, it's a huge membership perk, and I think, like you said, just like Fast Passes, if you're not on there the day that they're open, right when you can do it, you will not get Seven Doors Mine Train. You will not, all the DVC members are on there at that time.
Yeah.
And the queue is already thousands of people in.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah, it's sort of, I would attribute it to now how they do the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Yes, it's somewhat random.
Yeah.
And, you kind of don't have total control even if you're on there right away because everyone is. We have been lucky enough, like JB said, to do both of the events that we've ever had overlap with vacations. We've been lucky enough to do them.
What's very special, too, about these Moonlight Magic events is that so let's say we booked our Animal Kingdom one, and it was great because we were able to add non-DVC members who were part of our trip.
I think you have a limit of how many you can add, but that's kind of neat that if you're there with people, I think it's 2.
Yeah,
only
I think
2?
Yeah, which we had. Your parents.
Or maybe it's only 2 because there's only 2 adults of us.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how that goes.
Right,
but. Yeah, we were able to add my parents, even though they're not DVC members, to come with.
Yeah, so we were able to get, then you have to print out your voucher or whatever, and then you have to go to a specific spot the day of, and you've got to go to the area and check in to a DVC kiosk in your resort. And they'll check you in, and then you get into a line, and they bring transportation directly to your DVC resort, and then they bring you to the Moonlight Magic, which is great.
Yeah.
And then so we were able to do all of that. We were able to get into Animal Kingdom, which was incredible. And then we went, and when you walk in, it's really neat because they have... there's DVC, actual DVC people, that are part of the DVC and they kind of greet you and talk to you and tell you, here's what you could do. And Animal Kingdoms, which we loved, but it also... Animal Kingdoms was also a little limited in some ways. I feel like they closed off some of the park, and we only had access to certain areas of the park.
Yeah, you know what? For reference, we've never done one in Epcot, obviously, but we've watched videos of Moonlight Magic in Epcot.
Get the run of the
because
show.
of the nature of how the park's set up and how sprawling it is in that shape, it looked super empty.
Right.
The way Animal Kingdom's set up, and I don't know if they closed off other parts. Honestly, we don't know because we spent our time in Pandora mainly to get on Flight of Passage, which is where I feel like
everybody was.
It almost felt like a normal day in the park in Pandora. I mean, it wasn't quite, the lines weren't as long.
We did go to Dino Land.
In the walkways, it felt busy.
Well, the walkways you're right. You're absolutely right. It's the structure of the park too, because Animal Kingdom's walkways are narrow. They just are.
You know what it is, though? I feel like most people that are listening to this probably have watched videos of even just like other after hours events that Disney does. And it seems like the park is so empty. So I just was expecting it to be a little bit more sparse than it was. And it really just felt busy.
Well, it felt busy, especially in Discovery Island walking towards Pandora and towards Africa. Because that's where most people went. When you went over to the Dino Land area, it thinned out. Like, we did go to Dino Land. Yeah. And it was easier over there. But most of the stuff, because the way Animal Kingdom is set up, like, you're right. Like, it's so big. It's the biggest park. But also, like, they didn't want to make people walk super far to get stuff. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the place where you got dessert, there was a place where you get dessert, like right at the end of Discovery Island, like towards Africa, and past Pandora towards Africa, and like it was just jammed with people. It was like everybody was in this area. Yeah. And we were like, what the heck? Like, because we were like thinking in our heads, like, this was going to be
like a little bit more cleared out. Right, I mean, you never expect Disney to be, I mean, even now at 35% capacity, if you watch certain videos, the park can look full.
It can.
And, in some areas and feel full because of how they're doing things. But like I said, for frame of reference, at the time, Flight of Passage normal wait time was about 3 hours. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And we waited an hour. So we're looking at, definitely reduced capacity, only DVC members in there, but only in this very specific... Yeah. Only these very specific areas of the park. And my parents stayed. We got quick service at, what was the name of that place that we ate? We got the meal.
We went to Donald's Restaurantosaurus.
Yeah, so we went
to Restaurantosaurus.
Chicken nuggets and salad and burgers and...
Yeah, so, you get that meal voucher. And like Ashley said, I didn't know you were going to jump to dinner. Jeez.
Well, I was in the middle of making another point, actually, and now you have stopped me from doing that.
Do it. Make your point.
Well, I was going to say, so my parents, we had dinner. We had a really silly dinner with that dino head thing. And we kind of walked around the park and did a few things, and then they actually opted to take Harrison back to the room. I think because it just felt busy, and it had already been a long day. We had already been to a Disney park that morning.
Right.
So you and I were not trying to stay out super late because we knew my parents had taken Harrison back. So really all we did was go on Flight of Passage and then left.
Yeah.
When really we didn't, so I don't know what it was like in other parts of the park when it got later. Was it super, could you go on Dinosaur? Could you go on Everest? Was it basically a walk-on? We really don't know. It could have been.
So you're saying we were limited?
Well, no, I'm saying what I think is we feel like it was really crowded, but had we not been like kind of rushing to get back or not only had the goal of going on that one ride after dinner, what would our experience have been?
Oh, I'm sure
was the park more open, but we just didn't experience those parts is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I said already, Dino Land was...
Why did you say it all snotty like that?
Was...
Already.
Better.
Oh my God. Jeez. You're the worst. Like I said already.
Dino Land was more chill than Pandora.
Yeah, but I'm talking about after dinner. That was like still during a dinner rush, even though it was less crowded. I wonder what it was like at like 8 o'clock. You big oaf.
Anyway, so...
Stop saying I already said that. No, you didn't.
Anyway, so as far as what's great about it, too, is you get that meal voucher, and we went over to Restaurantosaurus because I like Restaurantosaurus. We got, burgers, and, you get a full meal. You get refreshments. They don't, you don't have to pay for anything, which is awesome. So, and like you said, we had fun because we had went on Dinosaur right before we went to go into have dinner, and we got Harrison this dinosaur puppet thing, like the little grabbers that you like pull, and
it's just like
opens.
A head,
right.
And the T-Rex mouth opens,
right, and it makes noise. And then, of course, Ashley was making the dino eat Harrison's fries, and Harrison was losing it, and then it would puke out, or I'd be like gross, and then it would puke out, and I would look like I was gonna puke. So it's really funny.
All I was doing is really like picking up a nugget or a fry with the mouth of the T-Rex, and then pretending to eat it, and then like just opening the mouth and letting it drop out and pretend like it puked. And for some reason, that really
Harrison loved that.
4-year-old Harrison.
We have a video of that.
I'll have to post it. Maybe
laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
But so it was a good meal. There's plenty of room and seating in that restaurant. It was just really cool to, like, I don't know, I guess considering like you always, when you're at Disney, you always feel like your wallet is being attacked, which it sort of is. And I guess when you're at Moonlight Magic, you kind of don't worry about that.
Well, right. I mean, even though it's a ticketed event, it's free, like you said.
Yeah.
It's free for DVC members, only available to DVC members, and
right.
You basically get the run of the park. When the park closes, usually it's paired up against, you know what I mean, if Animal Kingdom closes at 6 or whatever it is, the event can start at 5,
right.
And then you get a few hours where no one else is in there. And
had we went further, we did not even go.
That's what I was saying.
We did not even go into Asia at all. So, like, because we had already done Expedition Everest, like one of the first nights we were there on that trip. Mm-hmm. So, like, we just didn't do it. But I feel, if we went back there, I wonder, like you said, I wonder if it would have been.
I think it was
sparser.
A lot of the crowd
was Pandora. I mean, and one good thing about that was the Pandora. The line wait was 1 hour for Flight of Passage versus 3 to 4 on a regular day. So
is it still that? I mean, if it were a normal time, would it still be about 3 hours? Is that the regular?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's so, it's just such an incredible ride. I think that's why. I mean, it just, that's where people go when they go to Pandora. They go right to Flight of Passage. And then of course we went over after we had dinner, which was fun, and we kind of sat there for a while. Like, it was like we relaxed for a little bit.
Cooled off in the air conditioning.
Yeah, cooled off, and then we decided, okay, let's go somewhere else. And then we went over, walked back towards Pandora, and did we get on Navi River Journey? I think we did, didn't we? We
did go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we went on the Navi River Journey. Then after that, we kind of walked back out, and we went to go get the dessert, because then you're given like a Mickey bar, Mickey chocolate bar or whatever you want, I think. And you go and they gave us dessert. It was pretty packed, but we were able to get. I mean,
there was like a long line, but they kind of had it moving.
They had it moving real quick.
It looked scarier than it was.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that was really good. So you get free dessert. So we had some ice cream bars. Of course, they were melting quickly because it was still hot.
It's August.
In August.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then so that we kind of chilled out. We actually kind of walked a little bit closer towards Tree of Life for a little bit. It kind of hung out, watched the Tree of Life Awakenings for a little bit, and then your parents took Harrison back eventually, and we went. So I mean, as far as the operations of Moonlight Magic, it was pretty smooth. We were able to get our food, we were able to get our dessert, and we were able to get on rides. So I mean, it was smooth. But yeah, I think Ashley and I sort of just had like that the nature, like we said already, the nature of Animal Kingdom is, big park, not as much to do as the other parks, and narrow walkways. Mm-hmm. So, like, I would love to do a Magic Kingdom Moonlight Magic. Because I guarantee you, people say the Moonlight Magic at Magic Kingdom is so different. Like, because Magic Kingdom has what, like 31 attractions, like something 30 attractions.
I mean, people are it's just more balanced,
right?
In terms of like actual locations of the park,
right?
It's just more balanced.
Yeah. Because basically, like you said, the center of gravity in Disney's Animal Kingdom right now is Pandora, and I think that it'll be that way for the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. Until they decide they're going to do something new. And Animal Kingdom. And it's
true that for Moonlight Magic, at least at Animal Kingdom, we had a few different options to get our dinner from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We didn't have to go to Restaurantosaurus, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good.
And I think there were a few different locations handing out the dessert, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you are a DVC member, or if you want to be one, this is a huge perk that I think is definitely worth it. So then your parents left, and after your parents left, you and I decided, well, let's do it. Let's just go wait in line for Flight of Passage. Mm-hmm. And it took us, like you said, it was about an hour, maybe a little less. Was it a little less or a little more than an hour?
I think it was right on the hour.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We waited just about an hour.
Yeah. So, and we got in. It was pretty late, right? It was, I guess not. What time did we get back?
I think we probably walked out of the park at like 9 or something.
Yeah.
And then, however long it took us to get the bus.
Well, the weird thing about this, too, is that, like, they're not super long, the events. But because there's not that many people, you can get a lot done. Like, I think they're maybe 3 to 4 hours
I think the thing
long.
about Animal Kingdom, though, is that a lot of people probably had the same plan. Like, oh, you know what? We're never able to get a Fast Pass for Flight of Passage, and we've done Everest and Dinosaur, a million times. So our plan is to wait for Flight of Passage. Like, Pandora felt the same. Like, it just felt the same as it did on a regular day or regular night. Except, like I said, the line was smaller. But how would you rate the event?
Okay, so I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10.
This
particular one.
Yeah.
Only because, like we said, I think Animal Kingdom's Moonlight Magic, potential is just a little bit less than other parks. Like, there's just not as much to do. Like, Magic Kingdom, you've got everything.
I mean, think about it. Even Hollywood Studios, even Epcot has more to do than Animal Kingdom. Yeah, so like Animal Kingdom is big, it's sprawling, and each major attraction is sort of spread out pretty big. There's. But I mean, think about it.
But besides it's still great.
Pandora, I mean, you maybe arguably Everest and maybe Dinosaur. A lot of people don't like Dinosaur. But then, I mean, are you really staying? I don't think the safari was open.
No. It wasn't.
No one's going to be doing Cali River Rapids. So, I mean, you really had Pandora and then Everest and Dinosaur.
That was it.
And that's it, really. And I think most people are like, why would we spend a bunch of time going to Everest and Dinosaur if I really want to go on Flight of Passage? Right. And so everyone was just in Pandora.
Right. It was cute. We did get to go on the Triceratops thing with Harrison. That little spin.
Oh, yeah.
In the Dinoland with the lights. I will say.
The Animal Kingdom Dumbo.
Yeah, the Animal Kingdom Dumbo. The Animal Kingdom at night is really, really beautiful. Like, I love it at night. Like, I mean, that was one neat part about it as well, was just being in Animal Kingdom when it's dark.
Had we not been, aware of the fact that my parents took Harrison and kind of not wanting to, just be super lax and walk around the park, I would have wanted to do
We would have done everything. Yeah,
we would have. I mean, it would have been nice just to walk through there and see maybe emptier parts of the park at night.
We would have totally done that. Yeah, but we're courteous and considerate. Mm-hmm. But
very much so.
Yes. So, of course,
obviously,
So what would you give it? I give it an 8 out of 10, only because I just feel like, yes, it's still awesome. We still got all that free food and free stuff, and Flight of Passage, was absolutely, totally worth it. Incredible.
And that to add to it, that was the first time that JB and I had been on Flight of Passage. We were supposed to go on it a few years before.
In 2017.
And there was such a bad storm that wasn't going to be over in 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, it was insane.
We waited. JB ran up to the gate, there was puddles up to his knees trying to get ponchos. We waited and we looked at the radar and it just was not
happening.
It was not going to happen. Yeah. So it was a long time coming. So we were very excited just to do that.
Yes. Yes.
I would give the event an 8 as well. I feel like, first of all, it's free. The whole event, if you're a DVC member, is complimentary. And that in itself is amazing. Amazing that you basically get an after-hours event for free.
Yeah.
It gets dinged just because of the nature of Animal Kingdom. And there's not really much they can do about that.
No.
They can't help how many people want to be in Pandora. There's, no way around it. And then because of the nature of what Animal Kingdom is and not being able to do certain nighttime things, I think out of the 4 parks, you would be like, oh, I hope it's at one of the other ones.
Yeah. Yes, I would definitely. Obviously, I would never tell someone
and I love
not to
Animal
do it.
Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, yes, me too.
But I will say that you are probably going to get more out of it if you're in a different park. You just are. Unless Flight of Passage is obviously it's incredible.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, and we've talked about this before, is that how Disney feels, how crowded it feels, is a huge factor in how good of a time you're having.
Right.
You know what I mean? And how much you're prepared for that. We were prepared for something not quite as busy. And then it felt the same as a regular day in the areas that we were in.
Yeah.
And it's just the nature of that park. But it did... I think we were kind of looking for this relief in the park, and then it just didn't happen.
It really didn't happen, no.
And that being said, it wasn't a paid event. If it was a paid event and it felt like that, I would never pay for an after-hours event in Animal Kingdom.
Right.
And that's why, because it would feel the same.
Yeah.
The other parks, I would be excited to see what those experiences would be.
Yeah.
Because our other experience was at Typhoon Lagoon, which is a totally different situation because it's a water park.
Yes. So speaking, just real quick as an aside, speaking of ticketed events and special events, do you think Disney will? Do you realize the cash cow that they're just sitting on? Do you think they would ever do a more hardcore horror Halloween event in Disney?
No.
You don't think they ever would?
Mm-mm.
Not at studios?
Here's the thing about that. What do they do? Universal has
already does it.
Properties and big buildings where they can have these.
Disney really does it.
And I would think it's not a smart move for them. Disney is something else. It's not. It shouldn't try and be what Universal does.
What if Disney did, instead of Not So Scary, which they would keep Not So Scary, but what if there was, another Halloween event at studios that was PG-13?
Yeah, with the villains at Hollywood Studios, I would be super into that. And there'd be a huge crowd, the same crowd that stands in line for Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror and
would go to the villains.
They would be all
and if they had, a specific villains walk through attractions, haunted house.
I think if you're going to do something like that, though, then, the reason why Halloween Horror Nights works the way it does is because it's well suited for the park that it is. It's well suited for the audience, but they also provide, if your rating's going to be PG-13 or R, how much of the Halloween Horror Nights experience for a lot of people is also about the drinking and the adult atmosphere.
Right, which Disney has said.
Disney would have to you would have to have,
there have to be
alcohol. Right, it'd have to be a special ticketed event with an age limit, probably kids 13 and up or whatever it is. And there would be stations with, which Disney can manage. They manage a World Showcase every day. Do they manage it well? I don't think so. There's a lot of really drunk people when you walk through that area, especially at the festivals.
Oh, yeah.
It's like sometimes people are super inappropriate. I think they could totally do it, but I think you would have to match that. No one wants to come to like a PG-13, but really it's PG. That doesn't appeal to anyone. It's either got to be Mickey's Not So Scary, or you got to up it a little.
Like imagine...
but I mean, you can't do an event that's in the middle. You could do this one and that one and do it at Hollywood Studios and have it be late at night. I mean, are you saying people wouldn't pay money for that?
They would totally do it.
I don't think it's going to be a lot of the same crowd that goes to Halloween Horror Nights. I don't. I think there would be a middle section of people that overlap. But Halloween Horror Nights is intense with like gore and...
But look at how popular Not So Scary has become. Not So Scary is like overflowing, people say.
I think all they would have to do is expand on their already after-hour event with villains and make it more intense.
Yes.
And
so imagine walking through Hades, or something, but a Disney villain version of Hades, or like walking through, the Queen of Hearts, maze, or walking through, what I mean? Like there is so much potential. Maleficent.
Where are they going to put this maze, though?
Well, there's that whole animation courtyard is like empty. That whole animation courtyard is pretty much empty.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
And that Lightning McQueen thing is empty.
Flack. It's not. Doesn't go with their image.
Well, no. I'm not saying it would be like I said. It would be Disney villains. But imagine if maybe it was still just PG, a little more intense.
Let me put it this way: do I think that Walt would go for something like this? I actually do, because he didn't think that everything should be suited to everyone, like young kids, all the time. He wanted to. The same reason why he built the Haunted Mansion. A lot of people were on his case about that. Why, you know what I mean?
Being scared.
But Disney now is all about, like if some mom complains that, Stitches or whatever was Alien Encounter is too scary, it gets shut down. If Alien Encounter can't be around... and people can't decide, oh, that's too scary, I'm not going to go on it, and instead say, I went on it, it's scary, close it down, there's no way they can host this event.
I think they could.
And not get attacked.
I think they could.
They could.
Because
I don't think they'll ever choose to do it.
You're paying extra money. You're deciding to take your kid there.
I know, but...
You know what I mean?
You're deciding to put your kid on Alien Encounter. That waives all
liability. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you buy the ticket...
Let me sue Strawbrooks because I fell on a straw and I went through my neck.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Right. So, like, that's something I'm thinking about. Like, I think they've already do the villains of after-hours events. Like, periodically, they don't do it very much. I don't think
they want to compete, though, with... I mean, they don't need to. You know how much money they make on Mickey's Not So Scary and how much they jam the parks with that? And then they did the pass with it. So like if you live there and you wanted to go,
I wonder if they'll continue doing that in the future.
And you know why that's beneficial for them? Because those people go in and spend money on merchandise and food items.
Yeah.
I'm sure it works out. But the last few years, people have said that party has been absolutely uncomfortable.
Right.
Because of how crowded it is.
Well, they can't do that
People
now.
said it rivals or it's even worse than the Christmas party. And then they think the Christmas party is going to get worse, too.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, it's something to think about that, maybe at the same time as Not So Scary, you could have a villain, like, ticketed event going on at studios. That would be something interesting and maybe it will happen in the future.
I would be all about it.
Yeah. I would, too. I would totally love that. I want to do the villain thing. I hope we could do that one day.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we'll talk about the last. We did another.
No. Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah. We did another Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon. Okay, now. Okay, Ash is not a Typhoon Lagoon fan, so like if I was with somebody that liked Typhoon Lagoon, would have been more fun, but she's just kind of a stick in the mud when it comes to water parks.
It's just a water park. I don't go to Disney to go to a water park. That pause was me saying the F word and bleeping it out myself. It's just a water park. And you know what it is, though? Typhoon Lagoon, there's two major things people love about Typhoon Lagoon. The wave pool and that slide where if you want to feel your underwear actually go up your crack and further, you can go on that.
I think
neither of those things appeal to me in any way.
I think people like the tropical, like, paradise.
I don't need that. I'm already in Florida, and it's 120,000 degrees. I don't need to feel like tropical and go to Typhoon Lagoon.
Now, Typhoon Lagoon, this was at night.
I'd rather just go to the pool.
All right, so this was at night. I thought it was great. I mean, it was...
Well, no, the event was great. I'm just saying, if I'm in Disney and Jim wants to do a Typhoon Lagoon day, I'd rather get eaten by an alligator. Oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. I just don't see the
You can have
allure.
A spa day, and me and Harrison will go to Typhoon
Like, the
Lagoon.
sand is, like, burning your feet, and you're just... Then you go in the pool, and you get a migraine from the waves, like, whacking you in the face. And then you go down the slide, and your bathing suit disintegrates and burns your butt.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway.
Or you could just lay, and if I were to lay out in the sun, I would turn pink in 4 minutes.
So let me tell you what awesomeness was at the Typhoon Lagoon.
No, the Moonlight Magic event was really fun, though.
It was. There was a DJ and a big dance party on the beach.
You forgot that it was a horrible storm and cold.
It was Chili's. But it was really fun because they had a DJ. You could just go dance and have fun and be silly right on the beach, right in front of the wave pool, in front of the big boat, which I think is great. Donald Duck was, like, there was character, like, appearances, like, throughout the park, and Donald was there. He was up on the right side over by one of the slides. It was just, I don't know. I just love Typhoon Lagoon. So for me, it was just like, oh man, this is like just so great. Of course, always the beeps.
Mm-hmm.
I just, had it been a little warmer, it probably would have been better, right?
Yeah, when we were waiting for the transportation,
it was a little chilly.
I guess it was chilly for summer, and it was raining hard. I mean, and we were kind of like, everyone in line, all of us were like, look at, the storm's going to pass. You were all hopeful that it was going to pass. But had it been any other night we were there, it would have been warmer. And it was like our clothes were just soaked when we walked in. So I don't feel like I'm the reason to blame that you didn't have fun. I don't even care if I am. You can go take a hike.
I don't like Typhoon Lagoon.
No, but a free event at Typhoon Lagoon at night, that was fun. I was excited to go.
Yeah.
Don't call me a stick in the mud for not wanting to spend my time in Disney at a pool with sand in the bottom, getting whipped in the face.
Oh my gosh,
with waves.
what a grump.
Some of us have standards.
Some of us like
Clearly
to be
I didn't when I married you.
Lazy riv, just chilling out at the pool.
I do that all day.
Oh my gosh. So anyway,
eat cheese puffs.
Right. So we did get our free meal as well. So we did have a good, meal there as well. So that was good. We got like tater tots and stuff like that. So it was good. So we enjoyed that. I really thought it was neat. I didn't really. Yes, the weather could have been better. But I think that was one of the very first Moonlight Magic events they ever did.
Yeah, it was.
They were like kind of testing
it out. Yeah,
and they were asking us questions. We actually got like surveys and stuff to say how was it, and people were asking us while we were there.
Honestly, the whole thing was different because of it didn't stop raining. We were eating, it's raining. It was wet and kind of. It was kind of chilly to the point where you kind of made yourself go in the water because you're like, we're here. So we should go in, and then, you didn't want to get out because it was going to be even more cold. Chills. So it just was an unfortunate weather thing. But, we had fun.
Yeah. I just really love just the whole atmosphere of Typhoon Lagoon. I just think it's great. But, no, next time we go for a longer trip, me and Harrison will go, and you could have a spa day.
Right. Yeah, they do Botox at the spa. I'll just get some.
Oh, jeez. You don't need it.
Doesn't matter.
Oh gosh! All right, so
I wouldn't really get it at Disney.
get home.
Well, yeah, because what if it had a bad reaction? Or I was like swelling up or something.
Yeah, for you,
I would.
You would be in the hospital. Something would happen. Oh my Lord!
I really do want to try it for my headaches, though. Maybe.
Yeah. I agree. So, anything else to add, Ash? Or are we good?
No, I just feel like if you're a DVC member and you're, obviously if you can get into it, we definitely recommend.
Oh yeah,
the events.
try and get into Moonlight Magic for sure. Just make sure
free meal, free dessert.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah, we always kind of keep an eye out if we're flexible, saying like, oh, okay, we're gonna try and go in August, and we know that they haven't announced those dates yet, but they're gonna come out. We'll kind of wait to see if we can book our vacation during. That. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. I think they usually send out emails, but I also wanted to say if you are curious about DVC in general or want to know more about it, you can reach out to us and ask specific questions, or you can, write in, let us know that you want us to do like a more in-depth, show about that.
Right.
I have one more thing I want to add, so if you have something you want to talk about, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we gave the Moonlight Magic and Animal Kingdom an 8 out of 10. Both of us. Yeah. I don't think we really need to I don't really think we should rate the other one because it was like cold.
I will say though, for Typhoon Lagoon, what was really neat was that
it was way empty.
It was way empty, and then that was really cool. It was also cool to be there at night.
Yeah.
So, and they had lights on, and I mean, had the weather been any even slightly better, it would have made for a much better time. But I mean, we enjoyed ourselves. And we did. But it was hard to get on the air conditioned bus after that.
Yes,
and be absolutely freezing and go back. But we had a good time. We did. I wasn't as grumpy as JB is making it seem.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that our...
I think
okay, well, I just want to do a shout out again to Emily at Magical Mouse Travel. She is a friend that we've met through the podcast, and I text her about making Mickey waffles and being in Disney, and she's super great. And she is someone you should definitely get in contact with if you want to book a trip. She knows everything. She takes care of everything for you, and it's all free of charge. And you can reach her at emily@magicalmousetravel.com.
Excellent.
Give her a shout and let her know that we sent you over.
Right. Yes, remember, Magic in the Midwest podcast.bandcamp.com. Thank you to our subscribers already, but also if you want to get more content, please, head on over there and check out the Bandcamp exclusive episodes, which are fun, which is very fun for us to do and fun for you. And you get more content, Disney, and magical theme park content. And then, of course, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, wherever you guys listen to this. Thank you so much. And please share the podcast if you can. If you love it, share it. We could use more listeners. And shout out to all of you who've already shared and are already subscribers. Thank you so much. From the Midwest, see you later.